A very common question that we've been getting is, does the board have the right to enact emergency rules? And along that line would be, what about short-term rentals? What if we want to enact short-term rental emergency rules? Can we do that? How do we do that? And so emergency rules are typically adopted by the board to address an imminent safety threat or a substantial economic loss. And I think we can all agree that the circumstances that we are in right now with COVID-19 clearly fall into those two categories of an imminent safety threat and, potentially substantial economic loss to our associations. And how do you adopt emergency rules? They're adopted by the board at an open board meeting typically, or in some cases, if you can't wait to notice a board meeting, wait 48 hours to notice it, some boards are taking emergency action via email under the emergency meetings exception. And then at the next regular board meeting, they're reading into the record and providing the emails as, a record of what was transpired. And so what are some things that we're seeing emergency rules being used for? Closing common areas, dealing with essential versus non-essential access requests, making emergency rules on construction in your association, who is or is not allowed to enter a high-rise condominium building. Assessment issues, short-term rentals, these are all very common things that we're seeing right now during the pandemic of boards adopting emergency rules. Some examples that I can give you, here on this call that I think might be able to help your association. If you're concerned about short-term rentals in your association, maybe the concern is that renters from hotbed areas want to come to your association and rent, and you're concerned that that is going to cause a spread in your association. And I have one association where this specifically happened. We were notified that somebody from New York City was coming to a high-rise, and it was a large concern for the residents in the association, in the high-rise, for the board, and of course for the on-site manager. And so we've enacted a number of different restrictions. We have to look at the facts on a case-by-case basis. And so if your association is in need of adopting emergency rules, please reach out to our firm. We were able to craft emergency rules that were a win-win for that high-rise. And what we ultimately ended up doing was requiring the renters to self-quarantine somewhere outside of the building in Arizona for 2 weeks. And then after they provided written evidence and proof that they had self-quarantined outside of the building in Arizona, then we let them start their rental. But again, every association has different facts right now. We had another association where the association's pool was closed and by the board due to the pandemic. And we had a resident who has a disability, and he wanted a reasonable accommodation under the Fair Housing Act to still use the pool. And, that was kind of a sticky wicket because we have to be careful under the Fair Housing Act that we're not discriminating against any protected classes. And so we did have to tell that owner that unfortunately, the pandemic concerns outweighed, his rights under the Fair Housing Act. And so we're seeing all kinds of different issues that we've never seen before. I've been practicing law since 1995, so 25 years. I've never been through a pandemic situation with an association. So we are seeing new issues that we haven't seen before, and we're using our best judgment. And a lot of associations are reaching out to our law firm to ask for advice on specific circumstances that they're facing. And we're available here to help you as you navigate those difficult circumstances. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We'll have more Facebook Lives. We have some really fun and exciting things to announce in the next few weeks that I think will be providing some excellent educational opportunities for boards. So stay tuned and have a wonderful rest of the week and a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.